I don't consider myself extremely intelligent or smart, but what I'm able and my team are able to do with this technology and that superpower called EEAT and other things, truly remarkable.
Hi, this is Chris Raulf. I had a little bit of speech explaining who he was, but he said, if you want to know about him, just Google AI SEO expert. You'll find out all about him. So with that, over to Chris.
Cool, thank you so much. Hey, can I have everybody stand up real quick, please? We all just ate a big meal. You probably guess what's coming next. If everybody can quickly stand up. Sit down if you don't have a virtual copy of you sitting on one of the large language models. Basically, a carbon copy of you with most of the knowledge that you have. Okay, sit down if you don't have that. Okay, perfect. You're in the right session. Keep standing, keep standing. Sit down if you don't update your virtual copy, at least on a weekly basis, with all of the conversations that you transcribe. Wow. Martina and Kurti. And hang on. Okay, so we have two more. Sit down if you don't use yourself and the stuff that we talked about to create content using your AI that actually ranks at the top in Google and large language models. Wow. All right, cool. So only two don't need to be in this session here. There we go. So I'm Chris, I'm the founder of Bold SEO Marketing, BSM. I also have a consultancy called Chris Raulf AI, SEO. As Dave said, if you want to learn more about me, just Google AI SEO expert, and I think you'll find my personal website at the very top in Google and large language models. I've been in this industry for a long time. I finally had it about 15 years ago. I started my own business. But somehow I get sucked back into localization, internationalization, global digital marketing, and I really enjoy coming back to these conferences. So I'm going to try to make this presentation a little bit of fun. So I created these slides in cartoon format. I hope you like that. If not, I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to be. So this is a story about a superhero that has a special superpower that allows him, with the help of a new technology called AI, to turn transcripts into top-ranking content. So that's what this story is about. There are many use cases. This is just one use case. You can also use this, by the way, in any language for basically any purpose to create content in whatever language you need it. You need this content in. So this Super Chris thing has a superpower called EEAT. Does anybody know what EEAT stands for? A few here. Okay, so everybody knows in November of 2022, ChatGPT launched, right? And then all of a sudden, Google came out with Bard, and then now we have Claude, Perplexity, Grok, all these large language models. One of the most important things that these search engines use to distinguish real content from like just low quality AI generated content is called EEAT, expertise, experience, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, associated with a person creating content. So that's Super Chris's superpower, because I've been doing this for 30 years. So I have an extremely high EEAT score. We're going to come back to this in a second. All right. With the help of this superpower, I'm now able to rank at the very top in Google and large language models for search terms such as international AI, SEO expert, because that gets me leads and sales, gets me found, and then people invite me to talk at conferences like this. Okay? What's required in addition to that superpower called EEAT, if you want to take full advantage of this stuff, this new technology called AI and out-of-the-box thinking. So what I'm talking about here in this presentation, that's again just one use case of how you can use this to generate content that will serve the purpose, such as ranking at the top in Google and large language models. One thing that is critically important in the age of AI is outside of the box thinking. And I attended a great panel earlier today where I think most people have been trained to think inside in the box. So this technology called AI allows now people to do incredible things. I don't consider myself extremely intelligent or smart, but what I'm able and my team are able to do with this technology and that superpower called EEAT and other things, truly remarkable. My business is doing really well, and I think so could do many other businesses if they would apply this methodology. All right. Then also critically important in this universe where Super Chris operates, there are vessels, they're called websites, and they're being fueled by a thing called DA. Does anybody know what domain authority is? Some of us? Okay. So Google and other large language models, they will assign a domain authority, basically how strong, how trustworthy is a website. So if a person with a high EEAT score publishes content on a website that has a high DA, it will rank very fast. Okay. So in this story, I want to tell you about how to do this. I'm going to share exactly the prompting, every step you can deploy with the help of AI to create content that will actually rank at the top in Google and other search engines. All right. This is, proof is in the pudding. This is my personal website. I finally took a little bit of time to use this methodology to get this website more visibility. And I'm now landing like really large clients through the Chris Raulf website. The main website is SEO Marketing, but this is possible with this methodology that I'm sharing here today. All right, this piece of content, I think globally, even from here in Germany, if you do a search for SEO Price Guide, I think ranks globally for that search term in Google. 100% AI generated content the right way. So this is what I'm going to show you today. And by the way, also many of us are now using these large language models such as ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, etc., where we type much longer phrases into it. So I'm going to show you how to get cited as a trusted source in these large language models. For me, reality is we're getting about 30% already of all new leads through people that find us in these large language models. All right. So in this universe where Super Chris operates in, there's a lot of things called websites. Okay. And there's a god called Google that basically controls this universe that these websites get to stay alive. All right. So these websites that are floating around this universe, they are hungry for things called website visitors. Okay. Because it allows them to turn these creatures, these website visitors, into leads and sales, which is the lifeblood of any business. However, recently, this god called Google, they decided that they're going to keep a lot more of these website visitors on their own platform. So they created something called AI overviews. If you do a search now for most everything, Google will usually is 50 to 60%, they will show an AI overview. So these website visitors, they will no longer go to these websites. It's getting harder and harder and harder to actually get qualified traffic to your website. And it's a real thing. It's impacting a lot of businesses out there. So also, if you want to stay in business, you need leads, right? The least expensive yet most effective way to get these creatures, website visitors to convert to leads and sales is through organic, non-paid search. Google makes a ton of money because they have a program called PPC, all right? They want you to spend a lot of money so that they can send you these website visitors. So I highly recommend deploying a super powerful organic search strategy so that you can get more of the free website visitors to your website. All right, Isabella, thank you so much. You changed my life. So shortly after, no, it's true. Shortly after ChatGPT launched, Isabella reached out to me and said, "Hey, Chris, can you do a webinar for us for GALA on how AI is changing global digital marketing?" And I'm like, heck yeah, I just learned about ChatGPT, but I realized this is going to be life-changing, not just for the SEO, content marketing industry, but for any industry in the world. So what I did, I spent the next, I think I had a couple of months' time to prepare for that webinar. I kid you not, I spent 120 hours watching YouTube videos, educating myself about AI. I needed to know everything there is because it was so new and it fascinated me, and I really wanted to put on a good show for this webinar, right? So I became an expert. And then about 6, 7, 8 months into this new technology having launched, I woke up in the middle of the night and like, oh my God, what an idiot, what an idiot. I just gave a webinar on how everything is changing, including global digital marketing, and I haven't done anything. So I spent the next 6 days, and I kid you not, prompt engineering. I knew exactly, what I wanted and what I wanted to create. So I used all the large language models, working with each other to create a system that not too long ago we called BSM Copilot. I basically took, I think it was a 50-page prompting sequence. I took that to my business partner, Daniel. He's the implementer. I'm the visionary, free spirit. And I said, Daniel, turn this thing into something that will automate everything that we do to create content and other things for our clients. He looked at me and then, okay, I'll do it. So, and I'll come back to that system, what it looks like. But to me, it was very clear if you want to show up not only in Google, because they still, they will continue to have their 90% market share. But if you want to start to show up in large language models such as ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, etc., you have to deploy something that I back then called CMP-CCOAD. Basically stands for you have to do contextual, multi-platform content creation, optimization, and distribution. This is also applicable to localization, globalization, etc. It's basically how are you going to get content in front of the right eyeballs. This is the plan that you need to implement. Nowadays, a lot of people call it GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. Essentially, it was very clear to me that these large language models, they're not just going to create something out of nothing, right? They need to feed on where high quality is available, okay? Google or Gemini, I think YouTube is the most cited resource that they're feeding on. Then you see a lot of Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, Google and other search engines, they absolutely love LinkedIn. So what you have to do is create content and then use the AI to slice it and dice it and go into these other platforms if you want a chance to show up not only in Google, but also in these large language models. More on that in a second. So that was basically the thing that I came up with. This is what Daniel created. I'm not going to bore you with every step of it, but I created a simplified version for you guys. I created a blog post where I'm actually including the entire prompting sequence, basically a very simplified version of this thing here. I'm teaching for TC Locke, University of Strasbourg. It's basically an even simplified version of what I'm teaching my students there. So, what you need, quick reminder, refresher, you need a high EEAT score. The more you recognized out there as somebody that Google can recognize in these other large language models, the easier it's going to be for you to rank in these platforms. You need a website that has high domain authority. I can talk about this stuff forever, but you can do digital PR, you can do a lot of things, right, to earn that recognition. Critically important. Most everybody doesn't do that. Then, virtual copy of you. A few of us have that. This is one of these things when I go to conferences, I always look for like 3 to 5 key takeaways that I can implement right away. This is one of these things that you should implement right away. I'm going to show you Virtual Chris. Super easy. It sits on Claude as a project. Highly recommend if you want to create content that ranks in these platforms, use Claude. Tested them all. One, like hands down, this is the platform that you want to use. So this is Virtual Chris, right? It's simply a project that sits on Claude. Obviously, get the paid version. So number one, set up a project. Number two, very clear instructions. You are this person, or like you're a copy of me, and this is what I need you to do. Be very super thorough. Make it 100% clear what it is, right? Otherwise, garbage in, garbage out. 3, I create what I call roll-up documents. So when I talk with my marketing department, I record the conversation. When I talk with Daniel, my business partner, I record the conversation. So for every topic, I do structured data. It's simply a Google Doc that I update after every conversation, now once a day at the end of the day. And then I update these roll-up documents so it can feed not only on the internet, but on very specific information. I do sales calls. Guess what? I upload them into a roll-up document. Obviously, I anonymize the information. And then number 4, this thing will create a memory. So the longer you use it, I've been using it now for, I think, nearly a year and a half, nearly 2 years. It's so powerful. Then, when I have sales conversations, I will turn them, I record the conversation. Now I'm able to turn transcripts into content. I have interesting conversations, right, about what are their problems, issues, what they would like to do. I give them advice. I will take transcripts. I have very sophisticated prompting that I feed into Virtual Chris. It then goes through all the information associated with what I fed it before. And I mean, here is proof, right? This is a 100% AI generated piece of content using this methodology. So, running out of time here. This is a piece of content that I specifically created for this conference. Here, it's called the Universal Content Engine. That's what I call this system. It's a step-by-step guide how you can use this methodology to do exactly what I'm doing here. Here's a bit larger QR code. I highly recommend, if you want to take advantage of what I'm sharing here today, please read this piece of content. I put a lot of effort and time into it to really be able to give you something that you can implement like right after this session. I'm very quickly going to walk through some of the prompting, but please do read this piece of content. It's gold. It allows me to do things that other people cannot do. All right. This is from this blog post. There's 4 main components. It's the expert profile. If you don't want to set up a virtual you or a virtual Chris, add the information into the prompting sequence. I'm going to quickly show that. Then information about the business associated with the blog post, your company. You have to do a little bit of keyword research. I'm also including a keyword research tool in the blog post. So do a little bit keyword research so that you're targeting the right keywords that people are actually typing into Google and these large language models. And then this is the most important thing, the expert interview. You have to create net new content by recording a conversation that you have with a client or a colleague, etc. Because you're creating net new content that then, with the help of this methodology and AI, you can turn into something that is not yet currently available on the internet. And this is what these large language models are looking for. So here we go. This is the prompting that's available in this blog post. Grab the whole thing. Yep, 5 minutes, perfect. What you can do, grab the whole thing, okay? Fill out the information in the brackets. I try to make it as straightforward as possible. Grab the whole thing. Okay, keywords, then information about your business. What is your website? Give it as much information as possible so that it knows who you are, what you do, etc. Okay, expert profile. That's the information about you. I am a localization manager at this company. I'm responsible for a team of 20 people that do this. Give as much information as possible. Then EEAT signals. Hey, I'm actually really good at what I do because I have led, this stuff and I did these projects, and, give yourself the kudos that you deserve because this is critically important. So if you don't want to set up a virtual you, simply fill in all the information right there. Then strategic theme. Hey, this is what this piece of content want to be. It could be the ultimate guide to whatever it is that will connect you with the right kind of people out there on the world. Then add supporting keywords. It never hurts to add a few more longer tail keywords. Then paste the expert interview, such as the speech that I'm giving here right now. I could take the transcript of this conversation, use this prompting sequence, and turn it into a blog post on how to do the stuff that I'm talking about here. Okay? Then there we go, write the blog post. Then I'm giving the AI very specific instructions. It has to be this long, etc. Feel free to change this as you see fit, right? This is just a starting point. Structure, I'm telling it, hey, make sure there's H1s, H2s, H3s, voice, this is how you need to talk in the blog post, first person, etc., etc. This is what I don't want the AI to do, because AI is stupid, to be honest, right? Tell it, don't use these stupid EM dashes. Don't say in conclusion, because that's a giveaway that content was created by AI. Feel free to add to this list as you see fit. Then, link, go through my website, look for links that I can embed in that content. Then SEO package, boom, do this, do optimize meta titles, description tags, etc., etc., etc. Feel free to add to this as you see fit. Here's proof in the pudding. I actually, in that blog post, I'm also giving an example. I filled it out and I used that prompting to create a piece of content right after I created the step-by-step guide. Next day, it ranked at the top in Google for keywords such as crisis SEO, GEO optimization, sports brand. I didn't put a lot of effort into it. I didn't really do proper keyword research. But this is what's possible with this methodology. Over. I know I'm sorry, a lot of information. I only have half an hour. Usually I talk about this stuff for like 2 or 3 days. But this really works. Put this to work for you. Think outside of the box and, apply it to whatever you do in your daily life. It works. It's not that hard, to be honest. Yeah. Questions? Oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering, obviously, sorry, let me rephrase it. You obviously use yourself, you brand yourself a lot,
Yeah.
right? As a person and as an authority here to promote the brand that you were showing.
Yeah.
It goes to your company website, but ultimately you need the person that is the authoritative author, right?
Yeah.
Would you recommend that this is the only approach, or if you are talking about a larger company, do you still need a person that that authors the pieces, like a real person that it becomes a brand ambassador,
Yeah.
like somebody that's recognized, or can you detach from the person?
No, great question. So in Google's and large language models' eyes, we are entities, okay? We're entities. The better the connection between the entity and who we are, what we do, what we're known for, etc., the easier for these things to, identify us and rank us accordingly. So I recommend use, your CEO to do content, create an AI ghostwriter for your CEO because CEO already has EEAT. It's going to be way easier for you to rank content associated with somebody that's already somewhat known out there. Anybody in marketing in here, just go the easy route, right? Look for your lowest hanging fruit opportunity in terms of who has the highest EEAT profile already out there. And I would say I'm like the face of the company. Anything that I create, put up on the internet, I kid you not, within 24 hours I'm on page 1. And it makes me money. Just did a piece of content. I spoke with a builder company out there, and I created a piece of content. I'm on page 1 for SEO for builders, SEO for home builders. It really is that easy it's not that easy, but this is a good start. So go with the lowest hanging opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, there's a website, it already had a DA, for example, let's say, then you create content and it will work out. But what about the new websites? How to create that DA?
Yeah.
So do you have any action point where we can start?
Yes. Yeah. Digital PR is a press release distribution platform called prlog.org. That's what we do for every client if they don't have a high DA already, prlog.org. And then featured.com. I just had the CEO of Featured. I did an online summit where we talked about AI and SEO stuff. Featured.com, where publications, they look for input from experts such as me. Implement that. Just these 2 things will get you, DA in a relatively shorter amount of time, but it takes time to earn that reputation.
Okay, I think that's about time. Thank you very much, Chris.
Cool. Thank you so much.